Hello, everyone. I know this is what we've been waiting for. I can't wait to get started. I know you can't wait to get started as well. So I think we're just gonna jump right in. All right. This is the tutorial that we will be using the Smart Examiner client, to test the configurations we've done so far, and then I think without much, you know, talk, I think we should just get right into it. All right. I'm gonna be using three systems. This one and then two other computers, which I have within my network here. I believe by now you know that Smart Examiner works on all major operating system, provided Java is supported there. Smart Examiner works. It works on Mac OS. It works on Windows. It works on Unix. It works on Linux, and in this tutorial we're going to be using Mac and Windows, but if you watch the previous the older videos, you would also identify that Ubuntu was also used, so that's like the Linux operating system. All right, so I'm just going to show you this is the other Windows which I have in the network, and this is the Mac which I also have in the network. I'm connecting into them remotely. Okay. All right, so what do we need to do? The first thing you need to do is to come to edit, come to preferences to make sure that your IP address is correct. Now, this is 127.0.0.1. Now, 127.0, if I 127 point anything is a local host address, it means we're referring to the current system. Okay, now this is good for local testing, but if we want to access this manager application and Retrosoft server, from some other PC within our network, we need to give this, an IP address that is within that network and not just on the local system. So what I'm going to do is to click on auto detect, and I'm going to say same as manager because the Retrosoft server PC, the Retrosoft server application and the manager application are both on the same system. Now, if we had to install them on different systems, let's say the manager was on a separate system and then the server was, let's say, somewhere in our server room, okay, we're going to give this IP address, the IP address corresponding to the one in the server room, because you don't want to be moving that about. But a manager, you could install it on a laptop and works. Basically, you can install both on a laptop, but we deal with organizations and schools that have some kind of large network infrastructure, and then they have a server room whereby they just want to install all their server applications there. Okay, so in that kind of case, you can actually change this. So you just uncheck this and change this to where it is installed. But for this case, I'm just going to check this now. The manager is going to attempt to try to detect the IP address which you are using, but you can always check that it is using the correct network interface IP address, because there could be a number of network interfaces. So if you type ipconfig on your command prompt, you can be able to scroll, and I'm currently using a desktop, so I'm over an Ethernet, and this is the IP address, and as you can see, it correctly detected it. But you could have multiple network interfaces and you don't want to use the one that was detected by the manager, so you might just scroll through and then pick the one that's right for you. I have a number of network interfaces, though most of them are for my virtual machine. All right, so we're going to be saving and applying this so that when we download the applications, access them from all of the computers, we'll be able to, work correctly. All right. So let me open this. So what I'm going to do is, now we noticed that our IP address was 192.168.0.102. For those of you that didn't catch it, let's just look at that again. So this is it. What I'm just going to do is to copy it. I'll be going to my web browser and I'll type HTTP, and then I'll put the IP address, a colon, and 8590. Now, it's already showing me up because I accessed it previously. So what I'm going to do is just click on this. Now, you can put the path to Smart Examiner, it makes it easier for you. But if you do not put the path, this is what's going to show up. Okay, it's going to show all the applications installed on the RatorSoft server. And currently we just have just this. So I'm just going to click on this and it will take us to the page which we want to go, which is the Smart Examiner web page. Now, this is telling you that whenever we're unable to detect Java on the browser, this is exactly what shows up. Now, the thing is that most browsers, recent browsers, browsers like Chrome, and I think Firefox has also taken up that trend, Opera as well. They have refused to run Java from within the browser. Originally, this application was started from the browser itself, like you just click on it and then it launches the application. But we decided to go via another path because some browsers were restricting access to it due to security reasons. Okay, so what this does, it tries to detect. If it's unable to detect, it shows this. Now, if the browser blocks the Java, we would not be able to detect this, even if you have Java installed. So this may be for information purposes, okay, in cases whereby we're not able to detect. If you're sure you have Java installed, just forget about this message over here and then just proceed. Else, you could visit the Java website to download it, or you can install the one that comes bundled with the application. Okay, now if you're on Windows, you'd want to download this. If you're on Mac, you'd want to download this. If you're on any other operating system, you want to download this. Now, this Java one, it works on all operating systems. It works on Windows, it works on the Mac. Apparently, that's the one we're going to be using. Okay, what you could do if you're on Windows is just to download this and put it on the desktop, or put it somewhere and then put a shortcut to the desktop. Okay, the whole idea is you just download this once, okay, and you don't bother about downloading it anymore. You just double click on it from the desktop whenever you want to launch it. This is like a one-time thing. We had to resort to this because of browser compatibility issues and all those sort of things. So what I'm going to do is download the Java version. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because there are some changes that were made to the version 2.0 and we've not reflected them in the Mac and the Windows version just yet. Okay, the changes have been made on the Java version, so we're going to recompile them for this too, and then before you get the release, you will be able to work with this too, obviously. So I'm just going to click on this, and what I'm going to do is to go onto my other systems and do the same thing. So the same IP address which I entered, so it's going to be 192.168. Apparently it's already there, so I'm just going to go to the full path and I'll do the same thing on the other system as well. HTTP and this. Okay, now I think I'm going to start the exams on the remote computers because Smart Examiner, the client application, maximizes and it won't allow me to see any other thing if I don't start it on the other ones first of all. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to download this application. Okay, it appears I downloaded it before, but I deleted it so that we can be able to do this testing properly. Alright, I'm gonna keep this and I'm gonna launch it. So let's go over here and I'll do the same thing. I'll download the Java version, I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna launch it. Okay, my Mac is trying to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come over to my download section. I'm gonna go over to my download section and then I'm just gonna launch this. I'm gonna say open with jar launcher and then I'm gonna say open. Okay, Mac has some kind of restrictions, but immediately you launch it the first time, it's not gonna pop up again. Okay, so that's about it for this. It's launched. I think I should start with this. So the same IP address which we have over here, I'm just gonna copy it, the same IP address. Okay, like I said, immediately you download this application once, you do not need to download it again. But one thing you need to know is you need to have Java installed on all the systems. Well, immediately you install Java as well once, you don't need to install it again. So those are like, one-off, setup processes. So I'm just gonna, copy this, and I'll take off the HTTP part because I don't need that. And I'm going to click on launch client. So it's going to try to connect to my system, and it's going to download the application and then launch it as well. So let me do the same thing over here. So it's going to be 192.168.0.102, and then I just click on enter. Now, so it downloads the application and then it launches it. Let's wait for that. I think we should probably do that on the system as well, which we're currently working on. I'm gonna click on this. Yeah, 192.168.0.102. This is our local system. So it downloads the client application and it launches it automatically for you. So, all right, we're gonna be using 3 students, and I'm thinking we should use Peter Jones, Anna Smith, and I don't know, maybe Joshua Peters. Okay, I want to use the one for the numbers because it's easy to type as opposed to the other one, so that I don't make a lot of mistakes. I think I might have made some changes to Peter Jones and Anna Smith. I changed the passcode to hidden. Okay, so that makes it easier for me to just log in. I don't want to have to, you know, type in and making mistakes. So yeah, I think that's just what I did. So let me go over to my remote systems and then log in. And I'm gonna be logging in. The first which I would be logging in is 5572211. Now, these fields are not case sensitive, okay? They're highly case insensitive, okay? So you can type it uppercase, lowercase, or anything in between. So I'm gonna say start. So it requests permission. As you can see from here, we get a local alert from our system, from our local system. Okay, so this is where the manager is. That's where we get this alert. It gives you, this is like a security feature as well. Anyone that tries to log in, anyone that logs in, anyone that so we're going to talk about some of the security features in one of the videos, so I would explain that better. So let's do the same thing on the other local system. Okay, and I'm going to be using the other student 1010557, and hidden is the password. So it shows you, this is where it shows you all the exams that are visible and that are mapped to that student. Now, I remember I talked about visibility, that I'm gonna stress it later on. I think we'll be doing that in the security video which I talked about, show you some of the security features within Smart Examiner and how you can use it to call malpractices, and then some of those issues which can crop up. So I'm going to click on this and click on choose exam. So it gets permission from the manager before it starts. So if it doesn't get that permission, it's going to deny starting, and the manager is going to be alerted. There's also going to be a log that's going to be printed and saved on the system for later examination by an administrator. So this shows the description of the exam as well as the instructions within the exam. It also shows you the papers in the exam, the number of sections, and the question, and then the time. These are things that we already configured from within the designer application. So I'm going to click on begin exam over here. I'm also going to come to the mark and click on begin exam over here. Now it tells you have less than 5 minutes on the clock. Obviously it's 5 minutes, so yeah. So this is like an alert it gives on each client, it gives an alert on each client whenever they have less than 5 minutes. Okay, they could click on it to close it. Just some kind of information that lets them know that, okay, they need to hurry and finish the exams if they're not done. Okay, so this has been a long time since I created this question. I believe this question was created in 2014. Okay, so I don't know if I can remember the answers correctly, but I'm just gonna choose anything over here with smiles. Okay, so I'm thinking this might be largest. I'm just gonna choose one largest and the other longest and see how it goes. So I don't know this. I'm just gonna do this. So I'm gonna come over here as well. You can see that the questions are randomized. Okay, that's basically one of the security features. My question one, it's not the same question one for my neighbor. Okay, these are some of the features which we have within Smart Examiner, which you might have configured in the designer. So it randomizes it. Even the options to are randomized. So in this very question, we have 6 in C. Let's see where we have 6 in the question over here. Okay. Yep, it appears we actually have 6 on the same spot, but the A is 8 over here, and then A is 4 over here. So you can see, these are some of the security features which you have within Smart Examiner. So if two students are sitting side by side, and even if they happen to, be at the same question at the same time, the options can actually change. Okay, so that's something that they might want to look at. So I'm just gonna click this, and I don't know, I'm just gonna click this. I think the one we're running on our local system, I hope oh, we didn't log in yet. Oh, so I'm just gonna say Josh 79. Like I said, it's not case sensitive, so I'm just gonna do this and then start the one on our local system, because we may not be able to access the remote computer if we don't do this. So this, if the user doesn't have an image, so it just shows some plain image if the user had an image. So I'm just gonna click anything here just to demonstrate this. Okay, yep, I think I'm just probably gonna get one in this. Okay, so this is the environment. We have the toggle top bar now. For screens that are not large as much as this, okay, you can click the toggle top bar, okay, to hide that, so students can actually click to have more screen real estate to work with. Okay, so they get to see the time over here. When they toggle it back, the time comes back over here. So now this shows the time progress as opposed to the exam progress. So if the student, it just gives the student some kind of guide. Okay, if the exam progress is farther than the time progress, it means that they are waiting time. But if they are lagging behind, they know that they need to keep up. Okay, and this also toggles the answer option view. So if you want to put it on the same line, so this just talks about if the screen real estate is not really large enough, you might want to just put them one after the other, as opposed to putting them like this. But you can always do that. So when they are done, okay, they can always click on finish. Okay, if there were some instructions for this paper, clicking on this would have seen the instruction for this very paper. If we also had other papers, they're also going to show up here. So I'm just going to click on finish over here, and it prompts you before it ends, and I'm going to say yes. So exam ended. I don't want to wait the 8 seconds, so it's going to post it to server. So report was successfully posted to server. Now we're going to get an alert here that the student has concluded the exam. Now this is saying withheld because I didn't register the application. This current one which I'm using to do the tutorial is not registered. Okay, so what we can see, the connection status here. This is something I was supposed to show you. So this one has finished and 2 are still running. If I go over to the other part, okay, this one is just about ending. Okay, I could also come over here, and this one is also just about ending. Okay, I could let that run out, and you get to see the status just changed. So we can see the alert that these two, they just concluded the exam. So this is within the manager system, the local system. So the administrator is the one that is seeing this. Okay, the student, they don't get to see this. Okay, if I open this application and just click on it, you cannot see it from within these other systems. Okay, so this other score was withheld, and definitely we're gonna have, oh wow, okay, I got all on this one. That's good. So you can see over here that Anna Smith, which was the very first one which we logged in with, we're able to see the score. But since I've not registered the application, I cannot see the score for the other students. Now, you will not be able to retrieve that score even if you pay for it. So it's better you do not, host a live exam with a trial version, because even if you end up hosting and you want to see the score, you're not going to see them even after registering. Okay, so that's a warning for anyone who would want to do this. So when the student is done, they just click on log out, and we get an alert on the manager side as well. So they click on log out, and we get an alert on the manager side as well. And so any other student who wants to take this exam can reuse the system and log in. Okay, that's basically how it works. So same thing here. If I'm done, I just click on log out, and if I click on any of the notification, they just go away. Okay, that's how it does. That's how it works. And if we refresh this on the exam side, we can see the score. Would be able to see the score here. We can see the final score which the student got. Okay, we can actually see the results. See, if we say see examinee results, we can see the results which they had here. Okay, and we can always generate this report to Excel or PDF, as the case may be. Basically, all tabular view which you can see, you can always generate the results if you want. And we're going to come to advanced reporting. There's basically way more advanced reporting which you can do. This is really, the application is really stocked. Okay, we're going to be coming there. So I believe in the next tutorial, what we're going to do is to try out a few other configurations from within the Smart Examiner Designer. So some of the other, like this was client controlled, which means that the client is in charge of whenever they start the exam, as opposed to an automatic starting. So we could have a situation whereby we want to start all the exams at once from the manager. So the admin, just on the manager system, just say everybody start. So everybody's going to start automatically. They're giving about 15 seconds or 15 to 30 seconds to adjust themselves, because immediately they click start, when the 30 seconds counts down, the exam start. We're going to see that. All right, thank you so much for watching this, and see you in the next.